You are listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Wole and Ray are your hosts. Glen and the homie Mo are out. What is good, Ray Jeezy?
Back on, and it's amazing that you and I are on together
I know, right?
because we're the guys that we don't buy too much into training camp at this point of our lives. Training camp is like, well, whatever.
Whatever, bro.
Because
You know.
it's all about what happens when you actually play the games. Where's that Herman Edwards clip, baby? Let's go.
I don't have it, bro. I can play it though. I don't have it. I don't have
You
it.
play to win the
It's a
games,
game.
not to win the practice. We talking about practice.
No, real talk. You're right. We're the real dude. Not say real dudes. I don't want to say that, but we're the dudes that don't, like you said, we don't believe in the training camp hype. But Glen is the dude that does, and he's not here. It would have been a great dialogue, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I haven't even been on in a while, and every time, of course, I support when I'm not on. I watch, I listen,
of course,
and I always get a kick out of Glen. I'm sure you saw my YouTube comments.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like Glen is always that optimist. Like he's excited. I'm telling you, Washington Commanders. I'm excited about the possible move to Virginia. I'm excited about the team. Like I love it though. I appreciate Glenn.
Know who he is, Ray?
He keeps it real.
So, know who he is? He's old me, man.
Yeah, you know what? Both of you all, you coach the youth and you bring that element to any sport that you analyze. And I see that in him in terms of football. I really do. Definitely. He believes that Washington has potential to be good this season, and that's what's up. But I'm just saying,
I think they have potential too.
But at the same time, it's always potential. But at the same time, he's just excited about training camp. We're not
big time, bro, big time. But yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping that it's a good. I'm hoping it's. We'll talk about that later, though. We'll talk about that later.
Let's talk about anyway. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy Go Errrything, and also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. That's 3 R's, ERRRYTHING, and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything, and like our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, hit that like and subscribe button.
My man. All right, man, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Like Ray and I mentioned, we're going to talk about the top camp stories for the Washington Commanders. Camp goes down tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Ray, for you, what's your top training camp story?
Okay, so I got to grab my phone for this one, bro, because I need to make sure I get this Ron Rivera quote correct. There's been some discussion, of course, about the linebacker core, right?
Okay, yeah.
And how long have you and I, since we've been doing this show, since, well, not this show, but we've been doing
Watch the Commanders talk
long time. Yeah. And the linebacker core is always a subject it's always a topic of discussion during the offseason, during the season. And it's the same right now. There's some rumblings that Coach Rivera and his staff may not necessarily be comfortable with the current group. So they might be exploring bringing in a veteran, right? So Ron Rivera's quote was this: well, we feel very good about the group. We like who they are. We think they fit. We think they fit for what we want to do and how we want to do it. We're going to see what we got the first week before we make any decisions in terms of a veteran guy. We feel we got a pretty good group that fits what we want to do. Saying the same thing over again, which makes me worry. Probably the biggest thing is it's not just about the linebacker per se as much as what we plan to do with the Buffalo position as well. So he said the same thing twice within a small paragraph. What do you make of that? Because to me, when I start to repeat myself, either I'm lying, if I'm stuttering, I'm lying, or I'm nervous. I don't know if I believe he's comfortable with this current linebacker. I think why can't we just be real? It's training camp, baby.
Yo, he chose violence, man. This is what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I mean, I'll say this. I'll differ with you. I think he does. The thing about him, he does he's stubborn. So he likes the pieces, right? He likes his young guys. He does like them, but he does acknowledge that it's a weakness, right? There's acknowledgement that it's a weakness, and you know they've already, you saw reports out there that they've they're interested in Anthony Barr, who used to play for the Vikings. Would be a great fit. That's a veteran linebacker who played at a high level. That's a guy that I do think they would need. This kind of, those guys are young. Holcomb and Davis, the two premier dudes they have, they're young. You know what I mean? There's two real legit starting, not legit, but since Jamin Davis is the first round pick, let's just say he's a starting linebacker. and Holcomb played well for them last year. So you have 2 linebackers, and Holcomb's going to move into the Mike linebacker position, which is going to be a new position for him. So there's questions, a lot of questions within that position. So I'm with you, Ray. Like that's a question mark. And when you what you stated, when you repeat yourself, we already know what time it is. Like let's keep it 100. When you repeat yourself, I'm doing right now. Obviously, I'm not sure of this linebacker situation myself.
Okay, so we talked about it before we came on. We talked about Holcomb and Davis, Jamin Davis.
I like Jamin Davis. I like the potential.
I like Jamin Davis too. I love his athleticism. Everybody does. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
Now, the critics were out last season. They were coming for him.
Hate him.
When he had good moments, though, people supported him, which I love that part. However, here's the thing.
Hit or miss, bro.
So Chase Young had some challenges in his second season, but people said, okay, he's still young. You got to give him to at least his third year to give him an opportunity to grow and become the player that he can be, to reach his potential. So can we give Jamin Davis that same respect to say, okay, he's still young. He was just a rookie. Even though he was a high first-round draft pick, Chase Young was picked higher, and he didn't have the same level of expectation that Chase Young did. So why don't we give him that same level of respect in terms of allowing him to grow as a young football player?
I'm with you, Ray. I think you're right. Just the thing is that even Chase gets hated on.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So it's just, to me, this fan base is toxic. It just is. Jamin Davis, you're right. Jamin Davis has time to get better. So I'm not going to be one to trash Jamin Davis. Did he struggle his rookie year? Yes. Did this staff make it easy for him to struggle? Yes. They made it easy for him to struggle. I would have just played him the majority of the season and let him get it all out, get that experience. But he can only get better from what he played last year, because he had flashes, but if he's going to get more playing time, I think he'll be a better player. So, and he has the physical tools. I don't care what anybody tells me. The dude runs a 4.3, 4.4. And if you looked at him, even Kentucky, how he got better from year 1 to year 2. So he's a guy that does show progress. He's raw, but he has so much God-given ability. And even in coverage, if you saw last year, he was okay in coverage, which a linebacker that's decent in coverage is hard to find. So you look at that. So I do think he has the potential. Like you said, we should give him the same benefit of doubt. If you're a Chase Young believer, a Chase Young fan, we should give the same kid the same benefit of the doubt. If you believe that Chase Young is going to be that guy that's going to be a 15, somebody predicted Chase Young to get 20 sacks. If he can be that type of player, then you should have the same belief system and to say that, Jamin Davis could be a solid to good NFL linebacker. So I'm with you.
Okay.
It's patience.
So the last thing I'm going to say about this, because this is what my focal point is for training camp.
Okay.
And it's been 2 stories I've seen have come out about the linebackers in the media, because we can focus on the fan base being toxic. But what about the media? What is the media saying about Jamin Davis? Sometimes I wonder, should we start media beats on here, like such and such wrote this, and but I ain't even go there.
I think so sometimes too,
but at the same time, not no like no
I know
on
what you
site
mean.
type
Like,
on site type stuff. We can have some healthy dialogue. We can have some discourse.
Hold people. I call it holding people accountable.
No debates, but this is one of those moments. Every article I've read about Jamin Davis and the linebacking core has been positive. One saying, quote, Jamin Davis feels, quote, way more confident this season, which says that confidence was an issue his rookie year, which that's understandable. And number 2, Holcomb is ready to be a leader, and Jamin Davis is showing unbelievable progress. These are the storylines with this linebacking core. However, your head coach is repeating himself. He doesn't seem as comfortable as the writers. There's a disconnect. So I want to see how that evolves, how this story evolves come preseason. We'll say preseason. Not even regular
preseason.
Season.
I don't worry about training camp. Preseason. I don't hear about training camp. Look, man. If you ask me, off some John Madden type thing, to be real with you, off some Madden, whatever, and off a past, and resume, I will tell you that I truly believe, and this is not me being a scout, that I believe that Cole Holcomb could be a stud in middle linebacker, because if you look at what he did in North Carolina, he was a tackling machine. So he's and usually those are middle linebackers. Middle linebackers are tackling machines. So do I think that he could be a very, very good middle linebacker? I think there's potential for him to be a very good middle linebacker. I look at him when I'm going to age myself, but it is what it is. when Miami drafted Zach Thomas out of, I think it was when he went to New Mexico State or something like that. I forgot the college he went to, but he wasn't a popular pick, but he was a tackling machine out of college, and he just transitioned pretty well in the NFL, right? For the Dolphins. So I look at Holcomb. If you put him in that position, a guy who was a hardworking dude, a tackling machine with a motor, he should do fairly well with that speed, and he does have good speed. He should do fairly well at middle linebacker. Jamin Davis, now he doesn't have that pressure of being a middle linebacker, because initially that's what they wanted him to play, was middle linebacker. Now he'll probably be outside. You're looking at a guy, if they play him correctly on the outside, if you blitz him with that speed on a blitz, an opportunity to get to the rush the quarterback, even in cover, like I mentioned, he's decent in coverage. If you looked at him, he's good out the flat in coverage. He did a great job against running backs out the flat. There's some things he can do pretty well to be an effective linebacker. You know what I'm saying? If you use him correctly, use him with, dude, we just talked about his physical tools, man. That speed is real. You just got to use him right. You know what I mean? Like we talked about last year, we talked about how the Dallas Cowboys used, what's his name? Micah Parsons, and how dominant he was. They used him correctly. Like they didn't just pigeonhole him. They used him everywhere. Like they used him to his strengths. You do the same thing with Jamin Davis. I'm not gonna say he'd be Micah Parsons, but he could be very successful in the NFL. Now, I'm not calling him all pro, but he could be a really good linebacker in the NFL.
DQ versus JDR. We'll be going with this. And if we could play with the Washington Commanders on Madden, would we expect this defense to shut folks down? Madden 22. I know you don't play no more. I still do. Madden 20. Madden 22. Jamin Davis, never saw him on the game. I used the Commanders a few times. Actually, the defense wasn't bad, to be honest. Yeah. But Jamin Davis wasn't part of that. You had to move him up the depth chart. So hopefully this season he'll get that work, because he's improving. He's growing his level of confidence. Sometimes that's where it starts, right there. Mental, baby. Shout out to Anthony Peterson.
You already know it's all about confidence. All right, so for me, I'm going with me. For mine, all right. Everybody. And then I'm gonna talk about one that I've heard, folks talk about from the media. But for me, the competition is the tight end position, because this is the reason why I'm choosing this situation, because everybody keeps talking about Logan Thomas, and Logan Thomas had a great year, and Logan Thomas is a starter for this team, big time. But he's coming off an ACL, and to me, he won't start the season. He had late in the season, and I know Rivera came out and talked about Logan Thomas has, he's looking good and has an opportunity to kind of play. But you're coming off an ACL. You don't want to rush it. It was late in the season. Just chances are you won't start the season. And if you do start the season, he won't be the same Logan Thomas off the bat, right? Because typically, unless you're like Adrian Peterson, coming off an ACL, you don't start the league. You don't come into a season like gangbusters and owning the league, after tearing an ACL. So it's up to the others. You want to see the other tight ends who's going to step up. You got the guy Bates, the rookie from last year, Bates, who's going to probably be the starter going into this week 1, probably. Then you got interesting situations with Sammy Reyes, the project, the guy that, who played basketball and is a guy that is uber athletic, who's raw talent. And then you got Antonio Gandy Golden, who you are moving from wide receiver to tight end. Then you got the kid Turner that you drafted, who is tall as hell. So you got young bodies. But so that position battle within those individuals, within Bates, within Reyes, within Turner, within Antonio Gandy Golden, I want to see how that pans out, because I do think there's an upside if it is coached correctly, that you got a guy who can spell Logan Thomas until he gets right. I'm not a big fan of Bates. I mean, Bates is a good blocking tight end. I don't think that he's athletic enough to be a guy that scares you. He would probably, to me, be a guy that's good in zone. If you could, find the empty spot in zone. But to me, I think nowadays in the NFL, you need a dynamic tight end, a tight end who can make the big grab, who can kind of get you some yards after catch. And to me, what's the most intriguing individual, obviously, going to be a guy who just played wide receiver, Antonio Gandy Golden. Will he get the opportunity? Because typically what happens in the NFL is that when they tell you to change your position from wide receiver to tight end, you may not be making the team. But this is a guy that this organization and this regime did draft, and they're giving him an opportunity to now play tight end. If he can show that he can block and hold the weight and be physical, he's already a strong big dude. Then he has a leg up. If he can do all that and show some playmaking ability in tight end in preseason, then you got something. You got something that you can kind of say, you know what? We may not have Logan for the beginning of the season, so now we got this guy who can be a red zone threat, can make some big plays, to get some mismatches against linebackers. I mean, it's something that could happen, but you want to see how they, how they teach that kid to play tight end, because it's different playing tight end to a wide receiver.
Man, the tight end position for me in training camp and then heading into the preseason, why it's so intriguing is because I want to see what the entire offense is going to look like. Like the entire offense right now is a mystery. We got Carson Wentz. We don't know how he's going to look because we know his immense talent, but we know he's had his ups and downs.
Yeah.
However, if he has a reliable tight end, man, that's going to do wonders for him.
Yeah.
You got the receiving core. You got Terry. I mean, Terry looks like he's just glowing out there. He looks like new money. He looked like new money.
He do
and
like
then you got Dotson. You got a decent receiving core. You got your man Curtis Samuel. I know you ain't having him. Are they gonna be a running team? What are they gonna look like? Because the tight end could be a big part of the identity of this offense. So that's gonna be dope. So if the tight end plays well, the tight end blocks well, that's gonna be amazing for not only Carson Wentz, but that running game as well.
Yeah. I mean, and to play tight end, you gotta have to run. You gotta be you gotta be able to block, and you gotta be able to catch the ball and get open. And so, you want a dual tight end. You want to get a tight end who can do both, because now play action is so important, right? Because now, like, the problem with Jordan Reed when he was here, and I love Jordan Reed, he was awesome, but you're not really worried about the run game with Jordan Reed, right? He wasn't the best blocking tight end, right? But if you got a tight end who can do both, now play action is way more potent. So, what I mean by that is, all right, your tight end can block, so you got to honor that. But if it's a play action, now your tight end now can get out there in the flat. Now he's explosive as a tight end in terms of the passing game, so he can do both. Like, and you can't tell by formations what that tight end's going to do, right? Because now, if a tight end can do both, you can't tell if it's a run or a pass. You know what I'm saying? So you can't. There's not a tail within that. So yeah, if these tight ends show that they can do both, that'd be great. But yeah, if you're waiting on Logan Thomas to be Logan Thomas, I'm here to tell you that that's the chances of that happening. Him being a Logan Thomas of the last couple seasons, it's going to be hard, man. It is. It's going to be hard because you're coming off an ACL. But I do want to talk about with some of these. Well, actually, let me read this tweet. This tweet that about the same subject matter. We put this question on Twitter. My man Paul on Twitter said the most intriguing camp story is running back and tight end competition. I get the running back. The running back competition is definitely there. You got Robinson out of Alabama versus Antonio Gibson. Everybody's intrigued with that one because obviously Antonio Gibson had issues, and Glen will tell you about it too. Had issues holding the football in terms of running the football. And you got a kid from Bama, Robinson, who he's safe with that football. It's a strong runner. You know what I mean, like a power runner. And was a guy who had a good career at Bama. So, yeah, I get why fans are really like enamored with that battle. It's not really a battle. Well, we'll see. I guess it will be a battle in terms of during the season to see how things play out.
I'll tell you
this. Not in camp though. Huh?
Getting a feel for what Coach Rivera was saying today. I'm trying to get out the habit of calling coaches by their first name. Shout out to that brother who listened to our other show.
Yeah.
So Coach Rivera, thank you for watching. Thanks for the tweet too, by the way, you just read. And yeah, while the running backs, the receivers, these are, again, the entire offense is going to be intriguing. Yeah, definitely. But to me, that's the stuff that, we always look at the receivers. We always look at the running backs, especially on this team, the running back situation. I don't know. I guess Portis was the last stable running back situation we had. Maybe Alfred Morris. Okay, I was going to say that. But yeah, it's been a position of need, at least in my opinion. But what I'm saying is when Coach Rivera was talking, right? Again, about the linebackers, he repeated himself. But when he talked about the tight ends, he seemed pretty excited about getting a look at what this group can do outside of Logan Thomas, because Logan Thomas obviously on the PUP list. But he didn't say a whole lot about the running backs. He's excited about the receivers. So maybe running back might be a position to look at as well, in addition to linebacker. You got the linebackers on this side of the ball, and then, of course, the running backs. But it also comes down to your two lines in the trenches, your offensive line, your defensive line. But again, that's just going too far for now. We're talking about some early storylines.
Let's talk about something that was really intriguing about that presser.
Montez Sweat.
No, he was talking about he mentioned all those dudes off the PUP.
Oh, right.
Chase Young. And if you remember, he said that Chase Young's probably the last one in terms of his knees because of his knee situation. Chase Young he tore his ACL. And I believe, and I am correct, Logan Thomas, excuse me, Logan Thomas tore his ACL too. He tore his ACL after. No, yeah, he tore his ACL later
in the season.
Later in the season. So Chase should be if we're going ACL for ACL, right? And we don't know how severe the ACL tear was or this, that, and the other, but we're going from ACL to ACL. Logan should be worse off than Chase, but he said that Chase is worse off than Logan. So now we're looks like Chase's rehab time has been delayed or whatever. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to be like everybody else. Everybody's like waiting to pounce on Chase. I like what Chase is doing in the offseason. He's working. I'm like this. So this is my argument for the fans who are or the media pundits or whatever. This Washington Commanders, Washington Redskins, whatever, like this whole organization, their training team, their training staff has not been the best, right? Right?
Nah, it's not. I shouldn't even laugh though, but I'm thinking about just some things that some former players have said about their experiences, and it's not funny, but when you talk about professional organizations, professional sports teams, you think they have the best of the best resources. And it's not, it is just not a good thing when you think about a professional sports team not having the best training facilities, the best trainers, the best resources available within the organization. It just sucks.
So Chase has decided not to go with them.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't blame him. So for everybody, I don't blame him. He's doing the right thing by going outside of this organization. He's working, and he's also working with Von Miller. Right. So I'm cool with that. Like, to me, I don't care about his delay. Like, make sure he gets back to be the best Chase Young he can be. Don't rush the dude. He's coming off an ACL. Like I said, everybody's not Adrian Peterson. So everybody's not Adrian Peterson. If Logan Thomas is in terms of Washington's training staff, if he's ahead of Chase, that's fine. Let Logan Thomas go through Washington's training staff and do that. If I'm Chase, I'm doing the best thing for Chase. Go with a better reputation. Because to me, anything you outside of Washington is a better reputation in terms of a training team. You're right, the training staff. Anything's right now at this particular point in time. So I'm for it. I'm with it.
Coach Rivera, and when asked about it, said different type of injury. They're different. That was his response.
Yeah, but see,
They're two different players, two different people. Their bodies are different.
Their bodies are different. That's what.
But he said he said different type of injury. That's what he said.
But he didn't see this a thing. How is it a different? That's when I remember hearing it. I heard it live, and I was like, we're going from word for word, they're both ACL injuries. Like I was like, they're both severe ACL injuries. They're both for severe ACL injuries.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know like I said, it's hard to get a read on Coach Rivera sometimes.
But I agree. I'm with him though. I'm with Coach Rivera. Like, to me, it don't matter. Like he said, it don't matter. Like, even like you just said, Ray, you know this. Everybody's bodies are different. You know what I mean? Some people heal faster than others. It don't matter. Like,
definitely.
For instance, we'll use this example. Adrian Peterson, that ACL didn't do any. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in 9 months, he was back on the field. In 9 months. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfair to say that, all right, Chase isn't, like, Logan Thomas is healing faster than Chase. What's wrong with Chase? He's not working hard enough. He's playing video games. He's not doing. No, that's not it. He's working hard. If Logan Thomas is is healing up faster than Chase, that's Logan Thomas's body compared to Chase's body. Logan Thomas's gift. God has blessed him. You know what I mean? Leave it alone. Let it be. But don't use that as a negative ploy against Chase Young. I feel like that's what folks are trying to do. Like, they're trying to do that.
Chase is the more prominent name, and he's going to get more attention. So that's going to. I mean, he's not even polarizing. I mean, for the most part, Chase Young gets a lot of love on the team. But
polarizing which way? Like, not polarizing which way? Because he's starting to get that.
You think he's starting to get like haters?
He's starting to get it.
I don't like to use the term haters, but he's often criticized. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, he getting that RG3, almost RG3 type of hate. Not to that level, but he getting that hate.
You know what? Again,
you should listen. You listen to you. Oh, do you have Well, I'm not gonna say that. But
No. I see
I'm
it.
not gonna
Trust
say
me.
it.
Like, for example, somebody posted on Twitter a picture of him on Family Feud was like, "This is where our defensive end is. He's doing this show while he should be working
Yes,
out."
stuff like that.
I've seen it all. But me speaking from a native DMV dude, we all got love for Chase,
Yes,
and I
facts,
feel like
facts. We
the
do.
folks who really watched his career and watched the struggles he's overcome at Ohio State, and when he came back and just had a monster game, 3 sacks after being suspended, like all the stuff he experienced. I'm a Chase Young fan. Many of us are.
Yeah.
It's the Northern Virginia folks. It's a certain type of fan. It's some down from DC and like the Maryland area. I'll put in Montgomery County, PG, and then it's the Northern Virginia folks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
It's the
PG's gonna
demographic.
always PG's gonna
We
always
gonna
support
ride for
Chase,
Chase.
man. We gonna ride for Chase, dude. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah, we gonna ride for Chase, dog. We
That's
man, we
all I'm gonna
ride for
say.
Jared Patterson, dude. We ride.
Exactly.
We ride for our own. But yeah, man, those are the stories, man. Those are the stories that's coming to mind for me.
So all we got for now. It's
Man.
gonna be fun once preseason starts because preseason will be important. I want to see. I want to see some real game plan. I know the vanilla stuff happens in preseason,
Oh
should,
no,
but
I'm all for
this
preseason.
team needs that work.
Can we talk about how BS training camp is though? Like for real? Like, no, you know what I'm saying? It's not BS, but you know what I mean. There's certain things in training camp that's just not going. Like Carson Wentz is gonna look good in training camp, dude. Know why he's gonna look good? Because he's gonna wear yellow. He's gonna wear a yellow jersey. No one can touch him, and he's gonna throw it out, and his arm is gonna look so vicious, and everybody gonna be like, "Oh my God, he throws a great deep ball."
From that premise, I just want to remind everybody who's watching that remember, this is the National Football League. Everybody who made it here is talented. So when you see them in practice, they're going to look good because they're good players. But when you face players that are of the same caliber or better, that's when you're tested. That's why we don't put a whole lot of stock in the training camp. I've been in numerous training camps. Cole Brennan, rest his soul, he looked good in training camp.
He sure did.
Chase Daniel, we the same height. He had a nice arm, was accurate in training camp. It's just it is what it is. But we're talking about when you get to these games, and again, it's guys who are just as talented. That's when you're tested. And the guys who go the hardest in training camp, who are trying to make that roster spot, a lot of times they do bring that same energy to the field. And that's what I love to see. I love to see the guys like James Thrash who earned his strike.
Yes.
Those are stories I like to see. But then when you go and you see like Chris Samuels, the BS, that used to blow me. Like, man, like when you out there as a member of the media or you out there as a fan, you want to be entertained. You want to see.
You said Chris Samuels.
Chris Samuels to chill. That's why he didn't like Marty, because Marty made his butt work. You know what I'm saying?
He's a beast, though. That's a beast dude, though. He's a beast.
And so I guess for us, what we got to do is we got to venture out. I want to go. I mean, because every training camp is similar, I know, but I want to see what the good teams do. I want to ride to Baltimore and see what their training camp looks like in comparison. Because I mean, you see this stuff
man,
here.
you know, man, you already know what I've been preaching. Like I want the Baltimore mentality when it comes to like how this team works.
Listen, that's a whole another discussion.
I want them.
We had a fun discussion about that.
I did like that Rivera got fined. I'll say I think that's the kind of mentality I want to see. Like he got fined for doing too much practice about the NFL. He got fined. I loved it. That's what I'm saying. Like Pete Carroll.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. There's no time for BS. You don't have time. That's why he talking about win or bust, play off a bust. Yes. Dude, you got to succeed this season. Your defense got to show up because you're going to get some tough squads. Philly looking good coming into preseason, and so Dallas always is intriguing. New York is the one that's like, okay, let's see what they got. But again, any given Sunday, listen, you need to win 4 games in the division this year, I believe.
I think you can win 4 games. I'm not going to go that far into it, but I think this division it's easier than it was last year compared to. I think 17.
I think Philly got better with AJ Brown.
They got better. No, Philly got better. I'm not gonna, but Dallas got weaker. Philly got better. Dallas got weaker.
Dallas took a step back in terms of personnel. Let's see what it looks like on the field, though. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I could say the same thing about Philly because Philly, they got better, but you still got to get somebody to get them dudes the ball.
So did Washington get better? That's what we going on.
Oh, they got better.
Carson Wentz.
They got better. They're better.
Jahan Dotson.
Because of Carson Wentz over
Bringing back Bobby McCain, you bringing back some key pieces from last year.
I mean, dude, we Heineke and
you re-signed Terry.
Yeah, Heineke Wentz, right? That's enough. All you had to say. It's Heineke and Wentz. We don't even gotta go that far.
I'm rooting for Wentz, and I hope he's a good presence in the locker room. But again, for a lot of people, he's a story. He is the story in training camp. But for us, that's pretty cliche. Yeah. So linebackers, baby, you got a strong linebacking core. That can go a long way. That's anchoring your defense right
what is that though? I feel like the defense is Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. This is what they're supposed to be, right? So I mean, this is linebackers is supposed to be it. Buffalo nickel, you know what I mean? All of that. This is what it is, man. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search all Burgundy and Go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything and like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Also, Rafe mentioned earlier, please don't forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel. Hit that little thumbs up button. Also, hit the subscribe button. When you see a video, just make sure, keep liking. We need it all. We want all the love. All the love, man. So show us that you love us. Show us that support.
Listen, also when the regular season starts, we got the dopest post-game show in the DMV. So if you subscribe, you're gonna always get that. And you can watch us live, of course, right after every Washington Commanders game throughout the regular season. When the games matter.
And Ray, don't you say we the originals, right?
Hey, you're one of the first to do it. It's a lot of people that want to replicate what we putting out there. That's what's up, though. We want to be a trendsetter.
Exactly. Hey, man. Ray's right, man. Hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces, a mega. Lead us out, big homie.